Hi, welcome. In this tutorial, we are going to look at how to freeze multiple rows and multiple columns in Microsoft Excel. How to freeze multiple rows and multiple columns in Microsoft Excel. Now we have the brands, the models, colors, memory, storage of this sales database. Now, when you move your mouse, when you move your arrow to the right, you can see that the first column disappears. Can you see it? Then when you scroll down, the cells and you can see the cells disappears. Okay, you can see that. So the header disappears, the header, the brands, models. So you probably might not know what this place is all about. Is it talking about the model? Is it talking about the color? So for us to always leave that header there, what are we going to do? We're going to freeze that particular row. So how do we do that? Or for us to leave the brand always appearing so that we can know what we are selecting and what we are filling in, we have to freeze that particular column. Now to freeze rows and columns, you move to the view tab. When you go to the view tab, you move to where they call freeze panes. Now the freeze pane has freeze pane, freeze top row, freeze first column. Now if you click on freeze top row, the first row you have here is the cells. So when you click on freeze top row, you're going to freeze just the cells. Now let's look at the view. Go to freeze pane, go to freeze top row. Now if you click on it, you can see, if you scroll down, you can see that that row 1 is freezed. It's constant, it doesn't disappear. Now other things disappears, but this particular row 1 will remain the same. Now let's look at how to unfreeze this. Go back, click on it, go back, go to view, click on freeze pane and click on what unfreeze pane. Once you do that, if you scroll down, the first row disappears. Now how can we freeze the first column, which is the brand, column A? To freeze column A, you click on view, go to view. Once you go to view, click on freeze pane and click on freeze first column. The first column here is brands. So when you scroll to the right, you can see when you scroll to the right, the brand still remains the same. So this is how you can freeze the first row and the first column in Microsoft Excel. But what about in case whereby you want to freeze multiple rows and multiple columns? To freeze multiple rows, let's say you want to freeze 4 rows and 5 columns. 4 rows, 5 columns. To freeze these 4 rows, 5 columns, what you do is to move to the cell below the 4th row. Move to the cell below the 4th row. You click on it. For the sake of this tutorial, we're going to highlight it so that you can see it. So you click on it. You click on that row. Once you click on that cell, then you go back to view. We want to keep this first to 4 row constant so that you can keep on filling what you're entering into the data set. So you click on the cell. Remember, click on the cell below the 4th row and go to view. You move to view. On view, you go to freeze pane. Under freeze pane, you click on what freeze panes. Once you click on freeze pane, it's going to freeze the first row to the 4th row and the first column to the 5th column. Now let's look at it. If I scroll down, you can see we can still see the first to 4th row and the 5 columns. Now I can easily come to here and write the brand of phone that I want because it's already shown here, brands. You can write it Apple. You can see that. Then you can come over your model iPhone 15. But with the help, this is because of the headers are being displayed. So this is basically how you can freeze your multiple rows and multiple columns in Microsoft Excel. To unfreeze it, you click on that cell, go to view tab, go to freeze pane and click on what unfreeze. Okay, let's take another example. For instance, you want to freeze the first to the 9th row. You want to freeze the first to the 9th row, and you want to freeze the first 2 columns, the brands and the models, so that you can your client or the office can now input the colors and the memory storage that they have. So to do that, what you do is what? Select the first 9 rows and the first 2 columns that you want to freeze. So once you select that, now you won't click on this place, you won't click on this. Now you're going to click on the cell below the 9th row and after the 2nd column. The cell below the 9th row and at the right side of the 2nd column. So this, which is what? This cell here. This is the cell that is below the 9th row and is what? At the right side of the what? 2nd column. That is in the column C and is in row 10. So this is where you're going to click on. So let's highlight that for the sake of the tutorial. Okay. So this is the cell you're going to click on. This cell shows that we are locking the first 9 rows and the first 9 rows and the first 2 columns. Now let's go to view, click on view, click on freeze pane, freeze. Once you do that, you're going to see it's going to freeze the first 2 columns and the first 9 rows. Now let's look at it. If I scroll to the right, you can see that the color column disappears, but the first one, the brands and the models, still remains fixed. Okay, so when you scroll to the right, it disappears, and the first two columns still remains. Now, if I scroll down, you can see that it is what being frozen. So this is basically how to freeze first, how to freeze multiple rows and multiple columns in Microsoft Excel. Thank you.